be doing so much and running, and it just really dawned on me. It's the man that my mom was underage when she consumed me. Anyone who'd have been older.
15 and 22. Damn.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Now I can kind of see why he's probably not claiming it, because it looks bad on his reputation, because he has a history. Like if you look at like even Beyonce, like he was in his 30s and Beyonce was barely 19.
The big one was with Beyonce. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and
Rymir Satterthwaite, Jay, Z's purported son, just won another battle after 50 Cent formally pledged to assist him in suing Jay. Additionally, this occurs only a few days after a judge approved Rymir's motion to proceed with his case. Jay is currently in a panic, and he made this strange accusation that rumor had been bothering him for years. Furthermore, Jay's legal team is threatening to use the judicial system to reveal Rymir's lies. Thus, except from taking the DNA test that may put an end to this situation right away, Jay is essentially doing everything. But here it gets dark. We now know that Jay has been evading the test due to the age of Rymir's mother at the time of his birth. Rymir claims that when his mother, Wanda, became pregnant by two-year-old Jay-Z, she was not a legal adult.
How old was she when you were born?
15 going on 16.
And everything saying that they had met. Now, how old was Jay-Z at the time?
I think like 22.
What exactly is Jay-Z concealing then? As you are all likely aware, Jay narrowly avoided falling out with his friend Diddy after one of Diddy's accusers said that at the age of 13, Jay and Diddy had grape-fed her. Although the woman who made the accusation eventually consented to withdraw the case, it appears that the matter is still ongoing. In fact, she recently came forward and stated that she never recanted her initial charges against Diddy and Jay, and she says the only reason she dropped the lawsuit was because Jay allegedly sent private investigators to intimidate her. Here's what is really dubious, though. This new development was mostly ignored by the media. As you are already aware, websites such as You Can Also Visit and Observe for Yourself. Look up the Rymir story on their websites right now, nothing will be found. Despite the fact that something has been trending for weeks, many prominent celebrity news outlets are pretending it does not exist. The Jane Doe case follows the same strategy. None of them mentioned that until last week, a judge dismissed Jay-Z's defamation lawsuit against attorney Tony Busby, who represents Jane Doe. In other words, a lot of things are being ignored, and it seems like most bloggers are afraid to criticize Jay-Z. However, who is not afraid? 50 Cent. Jay was recently made fun of by him for evading that DNA test. According to recent reports, 50 really contacted Rymir and offered him his legal team to support his cause. Jay is clearly feeling the effects of the heat. His attorneys have started a public relations campaign to paint Rymir as insane and are already working feverishly to end his case.
Court documents submitted on June 16th, Jay-Z slams a recent lawsuit that Rymir and Lily filed against him as just the latest in what he says has been decades-long harassment. The documents read, "The fabricated allegations and claims have been addressed."
However, it is rather strange that Jay is spending so much money on legal proceedings when a simple DNA test would release him, and Rymir has the advantage this time. It is not looking good for Jake either, with all the receipts coming out and 50 Cent supporting Rymir.
Your father, I really do. And if it's not, why you can't prove me wrong? Like it's not far as a proving me wrong thing. It's go to the courtroom and basically do what everybody else would have to do. Like it's not, you don't have to prove me wrong. I just want the truth. Honestly, I can take a no. I can take, if I'm embarrassed at the end of the day, I can take that. I really can. I've been through a lot, I've seen a lot. I could take me being embarrassed. Like just can't take nobody not saying nothing. Like, you know, it's not fair.
Okay, let us start by discussing 50 Cent's involvement in this. In order to become involved in the conflict between Jay-Z and his purported son Rymir, 50 first made fun of Jay on Instagram by pointing out that the two of them have a nose. That is not all, though. 50 Second are increasingly going further, according to people familiar with the matter. 50 Second has reached out directly to Rymir and offered the support of his lawyers. Additionally, 50 Second shared this mysterious statement on Instagram: "A good lawyer knows the law, a great lawyer knows the judge." This now makes all the difference. So far, mainstream media outlets have entirely ignored and buried Rymir's case. However, Jay's team is now on the defensive since 50 was mentioned, and they are working quickly to end the lawsuit and discredit Rymir before it becomes widely known. In fact, Jay recently submitted fresh court filings, pleading with the judge to reject Rymir's argument. According to docs obtained by Us Weekly, Jay said that Rymir's lawsuit is just the latest in his decades-long harassment. Jay's filing says, "The fabricated allegations and claims have been addressed and rejected in multiple other courts, and Rymir's continued harassment of Jay-Z and disregard of those orders has already resulted in a contempt order." However, Jay-Z has now come under assault from Rymir's former legal guardian, Dr. Lily Coley, a paralegal, who says Jay's most recent court file contains some obvious lies. In her remarks, Dr. Coley stated, "This story was not fabricated. Wanda's affidavit has been on the court record for years and has never been withdrawn. Her account was the basis of Rymir's understanding of his paternity." Dr. Coley also stated that Jay-Z lied about Rymir being held in contempt of court. According to Dr. Coley, no individual involved in the case, including Rymir, his late mother Wanda, or herself, has ever been held in contempt of court. She did clarify, however, that the issue of Rymir's paternity has never been entirely resolved in court. Dr. Coley penned, "There has never been a discovery hearing or final ruling that resolves the paternity or other issues. These facts continue to be overlooked in public narratives. However, the age of Rymir's late mother Wanda at the time of Jay's pregnancy is another detail that is often left out of public narratives. Let us first review some facts. The public first learned about Rymir in early 2015, when news outlets revealed that he had sued Jay-Z for paternity. Rymir and Lily Coley, his guardian, made their initial complaint back in 2014, and this was the beginning of the strange legal proceedings. This complaint was immediately closed, and that is because Jay-Z and his attorney Lisa Fisher allegedly presented incorrect and misleading facts in court, according to Dr. Coley. Rymir, however, continued to fight. Additionally, he filed additional court proceedings in 2018, accusing Jay of evading a paternity test by utilizing his wealth and notoriety. However, this is the point at which things become dubious. According to reports, the judge was informed that Rymir's real father had already been verified, which is why he kept getting shut down. But guess what happened when the son received a copy of Rymir's birth certificate? No father is mentioned at all. However, there was a further twist when Rymir learned that some of his own attorneys were surreptitiously collaborating behind the scenes with Jay-Z's attorneys. Speaking with The Sun in an interview, Rymir said he's denied the right to have a fair hearing in court because of legal mistakes and malpractice. Rymir also told The Sun that his mom, Wanda, first told him Jay-Z was his father when he was about 8 years old. Wanda also claims that she and Jay had an affair at his aunt's Brooklyn Projects apartment in 1992. They tried protection, but it did not work, she added. She lost contact with Jay and never saw him again after that. Unfortunately, Wanda's health deteriorated by 2010. At that point, custody of Rymir was given to Lily Coley. At the time, Lily also talked to The Sun and stated that Wanda got pregnant shortly after meeting Jay when she was just 15 or 16 years old. And it gets even wilder. In 2018, Rymir filed a complaint in Philadelphia alleging that Jay-Z's lawyer forced Wanda to sign legal documents while she was in hospital recovering from a medicated coma, which replaced Lily's name on the petition without consent and for nefarious reasons. Rymir's family claimed they had never witnessed such a degree of corruption or experienced such anguish before, and that action resulted in the case being dismissed from the Philadelphia court. However, when Rymir and Dr. Coley appeared on Hip Hop News Uncensored and disclosed that Rymir was shot following the filing of his lawsuit against Jay-Z, things became even more grim.
Rymir was shot at somewhere in September. He was in the parking lot with other people near where he's at living now, and out of all the cars there, his was the only one shot up. So we believe that was a nexus or a connection, I believe, between the case and what's going on, because it was around the time.
And here's the thing. Lily claims that around the time Rymir filed his complaint, strangers began knocking on her home in an attempt to intimidate her into remaining silent.
In addition to that, we've had people come to my home in the past, driving on the grass. We have people knocking on the door at 4 o'clock in the morning. We've been through all of it, mostly around the filing time.
Lily went on to say that this lawsuit is about more than just Jay-Z. It is about advocating for reform and new legislation that stops the wealthy and influential from abusing the legal system.
This is a bigger picture than this. We want to try to make a difference with the Pro Se Act or the Legal Abuse Act bringing new legislation and trying to sit down at the table with the lawmakers to make a difference. In addition to the fact, because, like you said before, Mr. Carter might not never do anything, and I'm sure he probably won't, but it ain't about him. This is about the system allowing things to happen that were very agreed and put our lives at stake in some regards. So I just wanted to say that, and that's what another reason why we were still going to the criminal stuff for the second time. This time the prosecutor's office locally did get involved, but everything is slow moving and things are happening, and it's corruption going on. The law says in New Jersey that if the person who resists to take the test is presumed the father. That's what the law says. Here in New Jersey, anybody who don't want to do it and go away from doing it or prevents from doing it is presumed the father. So right now, he's presumed the father. He's not even alleged.
Meanwhile, Rymir filed a new lawsuit, this time against the New Jersey court system, and several judges accusing them of conspiring with Jay-Z for over a decade to get his cases thrown out. In this case, Rymir and Dr. Coley claim that Jay-Z lied under oath by saying he didn't own any property in New Jersey, and he allegedly did this to make the court believe it had no jurisdiction over him. However, Rymir's team found property deeds and tax records with Jay's name on them to prove that wasn't true. Additionally, Rymir's complaint mentions 6 different judges who he claims conspired with Party Carter and kept falsely claiming he didn't own property in New Jersey. Rymir's filing claims that Jay-Z manipulated the legal system by using his riches and power, which resulted in the dismissal or denial of Rymir's prior cases. The lawsuit also alleges that after Rymir began speaking publicly about the injustices he faced in the court, his car was shot at by unknown individuals. The lawsuit describes how Rymir and Dr. Coley were followed by unknown people in their neighborhood and that cars drove onto their lawn at 4 a.m. They said they firmly believe these incidents were orchestrated by Jay-Z's team. Rymir and Lily are currently challenging the court system and the participating judges, alleging that they blocking their constitutional rights and preventing a young man from getting the closure he needs. In a recent interview with Tasha K, Rymir and Lily also revealed that Jay-Z was 22 when she became pregnant, and Rymir's mother, Wanda, was around 15 or 16. According to Rymir, the court first attempted to dismiss the paternity lawsuit on the grounds that the father had to be the individual named on the birth certificate. However, Rymir's DNA test with that individual showed that he was not the father.
I'm not a lawyer. They try to use all type of things, Rashu the Carters and all type of things to say, hey, whoever was on his birth certificate, that was the, that was the dad. And that's not how the courts work. So we did everything we had to do to, show them that wasn't. The person I was calling my pop took the DNA test. It was straight out there. Only other name was Jay-Z. He basically just sawed it and skedaddle. They try to use all this craziness to hold the case up, and I'm like, well, damn, if this was anybody else, I'm like, all right, the first 2 years.
They would have ordered them by now. They do that. Hey, take the test. Hell, in most cases, you can start drawing child support without a goddamn paternity. It makes them want to come to.
Rymir then made a good argument, stating that the court could have just dismissed the case with prejudice if they truly believed he was lying. He also stated unequivocally that he does not want Jay-Z's wealth and that he will issue a public apology if it turns out that Jay-Z is not his father.
If it was anything, if y'all felt like we was lying, why y'all ain't dismiss the case with prejudice? Why do y'all keep having us come in there and file and pay all this money and keep filing and filing for years? Why, if y'all didn't see anything wrong with the case, why is it not over? But the only thing I'm asking is, I don't want no money from you. If you want to have that relationship, if it was true, that's just on you. I'm just showing you that I'm fighting for what I believe in is right, and I want all the kids and everyone that come behind me. If you missing the parents, it's all about. Sometimes that's all you need to know. Your parents says you don't need nothing from them. Close the book. It just helped me, go on with my life and just be straight. It's not like I'm looking for anything, looking for you to bring me up where you at or bring me with your family and all. I still got my own family, but I just want you to be like, just think about it. Like, we could have got this, over with, and through all this, I still respect you, even though I might not like you. I respect everybody.
I was gonna say, how do you view him now?
And it's like, and when I say I don't like you, it's not even it's just that I feel like, y'all sit at the top and y'all forgot where y'all came from, and sometimes you got to bring yourself down to the bottom. You can't sit at the top and think all these, I'm rich and all that, and if I go to court, this would affect this, and sometimes you just got to get it over with. If you believe this wasn't true, it would have been over with, And for you to let me just sit here and after all this, my mom passed away, and I'm not saying you physically, but dragging us to court and all that, not taking care of the problem, it's just, you let it happen. So it's like, you could have got this over with. If it wasn't true, we could have, I would apologize. I apologize in front of the world. Hey, it could have been done, but obviously it's something you hide. And
However, there is another new release. Everyone. It appears that Z's refusal to have that DNA test may have more to do with Rymir's mother's advanced age. The true cause might be something far more sinister.
Jay-Z allegedly won't give up his DNA to prove that he is not the father of Rymir Satterthwaite, who is claiming that he is his son, because giving up his DNA could link him to a bunch of murders that he is connected to. The permanent A-list rapper could just provide a DNA sample and get the whole paternity thing out of the way, but then the sample could be used to solve a whole bunch of killings that the rapper has been hinted at being involved in. And again, this allegedly Jay-Z and Rymir Satterthwaite